Thank you guys for coming out on a shopping day. Yeah, this is good, right? Yeah. And thank the library too, right?
Yeah, you got to thank everybody.
Thank everybody. And just to say, although the EMU dialogues has not been getting a lot of Canadian attention, but the international press really loves this book. Like in China, they're saying, who needs a Great Wall? The EMU dialogues will repel the enemy. In France, they're saying, if Steak Tartare could write, EMU dialogues would be its diary. And in Italy, they're saying EMU dialogues is proof that the souls of Cicciolina and Topo Gigio have mated. This is their child. Now, if any of you don't get those references, Cicciolina and Topo Gigio, EMU is designed so that if you get the reference, you feel good about yourself and smug. If you don't get the reference, you feel inadequate. So that is pretty much one of the things about EMU. You want to add anything, Rob, or am I going to be talking all the time?
No, you said it all. You said it all.
Okay, so EMU is actually, just to give you a bit of an introduction to what EMU is, it's a cult. And it's been going on for about 40 years. We actually, at the end of the book, at the back of the book, there's a list of all the people that have EMU'd, and a history of our influences. For example, the IKEA catalog is an influence, and that great Roman chef, Apicius.
Back in the Now magazine.
The Back in the Now magazine classified. So those are our influences, but actually we do have a history at the back of the book and a list of our influences. Let's read a bit of the introduction, Rob, as to what EMU is.
So wait, when do you need the video on?
Now. No. Yes.
When we start to read.
When we start to read the word. When we start to read the word. Yeah.
So, in every friendship, a mental and spiritual dialect originates to serve the unique experiences and expressions indigenous to that relationship. In our case, the dialect has a name and it is called EMU. The sound you hear when the phrase, he is me and I am you, is spoken at light speed.
Okay, so Rob, so he is me and I am you spoken at light speed. So, EMU. So, EMU, that's what you say. So turning it ahead represents light speed.
And believe it or not, if you hear anything spoken at light speed, your head will turn quickly. So we honor the emu because it is the most haphazard creature made up of scrap parts of other birds. It stands to the left of nature as a kind of marginalia, one of God's notes on creations.
Excellent. EMU is for Homo ludens, a playful form of linguistic desperation, in which our inner child offers its milk teeth to the sun, hoping to bribe itself out of kindergarten. It is the same child picking up a seashell, running naked in the sand, robbing the beach of its ice cream. Now let it be understood, there is no set definition of EMU, and the attempt to define it is just Zeno pimping another paradox. Instead of asking what is EMU, pay your hearing bill, buy a side glance, rent your ifs to the ifless, ask yourself why is an orange. It is from this question all EMU begins, and tie your viper answer to the loafing wrists of divine apathia. If you are reading this or listening to this, chances are you have the kind of face only a library could love. Voila. And you're not dating much, so stay home, cuddle up with our words, and grow a second navel. You deserve it. So I think that's a bit of an introduction to the spirit of EMU. Go ahead, Rob, interrupt me.
What if they already have two navels?
Never thought of it. So the book is was written actually by myself, Robert, and Jens Kohler, who lives in LA. He couldn't make it today. And it includes collaborative pieces and some solo pieces. And this is actually a solo piece that Robert composed. And it's entitled Words. This is what it looks like. And now we're going to listen to what part of it sounds like, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it started off as a piece. Actually, one day I had very little to do at work, and I wanted to annoy Luciano. So I decided to send him, countless metaphors describing the word in a form of lecturing him or pontificating. And he wrote back and just said, hey, look, this sounds kind of interesting. And what it evolved into was an experimental 36-page work that you're about to hear a bit of and see, luckily enough, on the screen. So, the word, an eagle's screech, the word, a snake's hiss, the word, a bear's growl, the word, a horse's snort, the word, a monkey's grunt, the word, a dog's bark, the word, a cat's meow, the word, an owl's hoot, the word, a pig's oink, the word, a duck's quack, the word, a cow's moo, the word, bird's chirp, the word, a tiger's roar, the word, chirp, meow, hiss, moo, oink, chirp, hiss, snort, hoot, oink, oink, meow, moo, bark, quack, chirp, squeak, quack, chirp, squeak, hiss, hoot, hoot, oink, moo, bark, quack, bark, chirp, chirp, chirp.
The word, a mantra to instill inner calm, confession and liberation, scaffolding built of prayer and hope, the patron saint of your village, sacred tablets for Moses, the word, a Mecca to gaze towards, seeds to sow Eden, the mass and form you fill with soul, the soul you form and fill with mass. The mass and form you fill with soul, the soul you form and fill with mass.
The word, the Brahmin Sanskrit, the priest's Bible.
The word, the Brahmin Sanskrit, the priest's Bible,
prime Sanskrit, the word, the rabbi's
the prime in Sanskrit, the word,
the word,
the rabbi's Torah, the prime, the
center
prime Bible,
the word, the imam's Quran,
Sanctor Scribble, Prime Centaur Scribble, the word, the imam's Quran,
the word, the monks' Mahayana Sutras, the Brahmani Bang San Sutras,
Mahayana Sutras, the prime bonks,
Santo, the word, shaman's rattles, the Brahmani
book, bonk, Santo, Ram, Skibble, Imam, the word, the shaman's rattles, Pushami Mami Bonk, Sansaruta Scan and Skibble, Ishka Bibble.
The word, recipes to prepare what you desire. The word, a baby's wail.
Desire,
the word,
wail.
A prison guard that keeps unlawful thoughts contained. The word,
young.
A mother that devours its young.
Tormented.
The word, a soother that pacifies tantrums.
Mother,
an addict's
schizophrenia.
Mother. The word, an antipsychotic remedy for your schizophrenia.
Transgressions,
word,
its inheritance, its awkward
transgressions.
nakedness.
Memory that won't stop spending even after squandering its inheritance.
With its own
word, the fashion that conceals an awkward
fastness.
The word, an arrogant imagination impregnated with
love, a trembling
the word,
hand.
The compromises you make for love. The word, a cigarette.
From judge and jury, your tears.
An angel that protects you from judge and jury.
Your
the word, a pillow for your
super
tears.
Ego.
The word, the libido superego.
Circular.
Notes in the
piney.
Reassure your circular piney.
Flailing body.
Straight jacket
spies.
Body.
Masochist love.
Comfort in disguise concealing you from spies. The word, a sadist masochist.
In your head, a restless
love. The
sleep.
word, a cream that entangles the knots in your head.
Your
the word,
baggage is petrified.
To a restless sleep. The word.
Thoughts.
Psychoanalyst who offers you a rail car to place your baggage.
Console
The word.
you.
Petrified thoughts. The word.
You desire.
Consoles you.
Anyway. All right. So this piece we're going to read from is actually a collaboration between Robert and I. It's a real bona fide EMU dialogue, a true EMU dialogue, and it's entitled Leonard Cohen. And the two main characters are Sir Zig and Sir Zag, right? Am I Sir Zig today?
You're Sir Zig?
I'm Sir Zig, Sir Zag. And what's happened is Sir Zig and Sir Zag have gotten wind that Leonard Cohen has gone bankrupt, and that emotionally and materially, I guess. So what they want to do is they are putting together a tragicomedy, a play. They're going to stage it and raise money for Leonard Cohen. So, so shall we start?
Let's start.
They're going to talk about what they need for their production. We'll require some props, a long perusal, a refurbishment, a multi-sided indignation, a dozen false hopes freshly picked by migrant workers, 5 gondolas, and the Casanova. The Casanova must come with a repair kit. 2 postponements, 2 slight hesitations, but only if they're in season and they jingle-jangle morning.
And we'll need the following characters: a calendar's wet nurse, a gobbledygook repairman, a resolution inhibitor, a circumference whisperer, a polisher of cocoa, an ED fix installer, an abyss appraiser, and someone who'll give good solstice to the lead actor.
And let's not forget a Trevi Fountain impersonator. The impersonator is essential. He is the play's catastrophe, the greasy handshake of the tragedy. His left profile must resemble an overcooked paella, and his right profile must be Pittsburgh. His nose should be a shamed mountain exiled from the Andes. He should be a religious man who mistakes God for post-war American furniture. His celibacy should be owned by Connie Francis, sister of the famous saint.
Some production notes. Because Leonard Cohen is a man of delicate absences and silences, it is mandatory that this play be performed in an empty theater. The drama can only be implied, forever on the verge of unmasking itself, never stepping out into actuality. The characters must never appear. The play should be trapped in a pregnancy so happy in itself it requires nothing be born.
Notes regarding music. 1 long extended score, a ghostly symphony of resonances. It should bring to mind the lovemaking of cucumbers. The first part of the piece should be played Andante Alighieri. It should build up into a passionate chili con carne and then wind down into a soft, elegiac Joe DiMaggio.
My stalactites are swimming in the bouillon of your genius. In the mean street time, I'd like to build on your aleph. Let's consider these subtitles. Act 0 or Act's hero, lunch with the poet. Act Arrow or Zact Arrow, Leonard Cohen splits the atom. Act Row or Zact Row, Siddhartha Leonard Cohen and his accountant in the temple of the Grand Masturbator. Act O or Zact Row, Leonard Cohen on Mount Atlantis. And finally, Act or Leonard Cohen on the Empire State Building, fighting off helium-filled poet laureates.
Fertilize those subtitles and pickle them in current events, my friend. It's our absent actors that concern me. I'm now more inclined toward hiring traditional actors. You know, the insignificant and disposable kind, stapled all over with narcissism and afflicted with overbearing presence. I suggest we use 5 actors for every character. Once their performance has ended, each character can go stage right, join a large circle, bend over at the hips, pucker the lips, and become part of a perpetual ass-kissing installation. Also, I have a thought regarding music. There should be a marriage between the ghostly resonance symphony and a delayed or non-existent adagio tonal revolver. The tonal quality should be as follows. And so forth. I believe that this can help create a classical head-on sheet metal effect.
But if the music is going to be so grand, we'll need 100 snowshoe caregivers. Every time Leonard Cohen offers a soliloquy or lament, eyes looking upward towards an empty balcony, these caregivers should goose-step a minuet on a dance floor of flames. Thunder will back them up. Throughout the dance, Leonard should speak softly, words piled high like discarded chicken wings, so high that they rival the Chrysler building. They should cast a shadow long enough to obscure the sun's machismo. Leonard's mother must always be nearby, insisting that he eat one more spoonful of Jocasta chicken soup. During all of this, the self-portrait that Leonard keeps in his wallet regresses to infancy.
And this cannot be staged without a scribberator or a singer of flat feet harmonies accompanied by a Macedonian bladder whistler. We'll also need a miracle permission expert, a second chance monopolizer, an audience retainment waller, and a recurring fecundator.
Let's have Leonard speak the prologue. He should wear his Sunday best Buddhism with his karma unbuttoned at the top. He'll sit at the front of the stage in the bogus position, puffing on a cigarette. The smoke should hover around him like a groupie.
And he should recite the following. The play's the ting, the play's the ting, to make you sing, to make you swing, the play's the ting, the play's the ting, the play's that sing, the ace that sings, it's Freud in the void, listening to Pink Floyd, it's Jesus eating cheeses, he lurches and he sneezes, it's God and the sod looking mighty odd, it's Scrabble for the rabble who dabble in their pity for the big old ugly city who cry for rundown places and all the homeless faces. The play's the ting. The play's the ting, the place that rings, we raise the wings, the ways that sin, the waist that's thin, bada boom, bada bing, the play's the thing.
What a profound dialogue, prologue, like cowbells stampeding on pigeons. We'll have Leonard recited inside a dark and transparent wood filled with microphones and pound cake, perennials that grow beside beautiful galvanizations. Leonard should look around with great regard for what may or may not unfold. The snowshoe caregivers, bedecked in savage milligrams, will wander aimlessly through the flora.
Our trophy fountain impersonator should also be seen emanating desperation from his Versace Sibonista suit. He pushes a rickshaw full of burdens. His mother follows him, urging, "Seek your next voice, my son! Seek your next voice! And let your old voice hitchhike across the millennium in the gelatin of its own inbreeding."
Another character spies all that is going on, someone who can disperse the light. Perhaps you, my friend, in Hitchcockian manner, can make a cameo appearance, but you must do it cross-dressed, wearing the pastimes of an idiot.
And you should appear as a Hallmark card dipped in nasal spray, taped to the shiny shell of a childhood disgrace.
But that would make our play a comedy, and you know what the Italians say.
La commedia è ricotta. That's all we're reading from this. We have EMU in our blood. I'm not finished, Brenda. I know you want to take me on stage, but there's still a couple. Oh, Oh, and can I read one solo effort here from one solo effort, and then we will end it. And because I'm feeling it, I'm feeling the love. I'm going to read a love song to all of you. Again, because I feel the love. Love song. Her prayers were filtered nightingale breasts. The dawn was her brassiere. She corseted herself with icebergs and alluvial deposits. She sold mammals to the jungle. She baited the geranium of 3:30. Her body's square root straddled a parenthesis. Misereres were detained in her spleen. The weathers met in her mouth and exchanged snowdrifts. Icicles filleted her inner light. She poured sunset oil over her vision and lubricated her vistas. She bribed the rocks with pilgrim's feet and centipedes. She wore a scent called homicide and wrapped her howls in cellophane. She nursed my hermit heart, and I polished her buttocks till they shone like dolphins diddling the shore. I told her matter is constipated light, and her uterus took me in like a handy wipe, soaking up a spill. Tautology, she yelled, and wheeled her musk across the agora. I spilled her coffee over my mortal sins. Her eyebrows splashed in the shallows of a deep sentiment. In her smile were parked a brand new Fiat Lux and a vintage Kundalini. We made love on a bed of persimmons. She put my stutter in her palm, and I felt like a good man opening up a can of virtue. I sang her a song of wood and glass. Closed eyes in the wind, oh, cold sighs of the window, closed thighs, cold ice of the window and the widow. Her closed eyes, ghost ice, closed like a window, the widow of the wind. We strolled to Mount Palomar and kissed the telescopes underneath the open-mouthed Rigvedas. My tongue cruised her neck for a baby moon and found one. It looked like apple pie, spray-painted silver. It tasted like a fireman reaching up to save a life. She asked me, "Why do you like the beach so much?" I said, "Because I want to buy the ocean. I'm waiting for my bid to ripen." She unbuttoned my pants, and they dropped to the ground like the last act of Hamlet. We swam to the ocean's crawl space, discovered a shipwreck illuminated by the light of its own tragedy. I know this place. This is where my mother negotiated my complexion, haggled for my skin, I said. This is where she nailed together her breast milk. She handcuffed me to the current and corrected me. This is where rhythm casts away the body and fends for itself. Thank you very much.
That was terrific. Funny, humorous, brilliant, creative, entertaining. Thank you so much. Another round of applause for the EMU.